because they understand and have a closed wall around their business and their data and their technology. And we don't have insight into that, right? And so when we were doing the Cambridge Analytica reporting, when we were doing the Facebook device, sharing your information with device makers, sharing your information with Amazon, sharing your information with that, we can't see that, and we can't even tell it technologically always. But there are some ways we can do it, right? The first way we did it is we intercepted the information traveling between our devices and between the websites that they were sending it to. And that is a traditional hacker attack. It's called a man-in-the-middle attack, and we did it to ourselves. And by doing that, we saw that Facebook was giving BlackBerry, Apple, Samsung information more than the information they were giving to Cambridge Analytica, while telling people they weren't doing that anymore and that it wasn't available since 2014. So we were able to write stories saying that BlackBerry has access to your direct messages, to your friends, to your likes, to your interests, to your family members, to all of these things, even though Facebook says they don't share that anymore. The truth is Facebook only shares it with the biggest companies in the world. But the second way we did it is by traditional investigative reporting. And that was developing a source, and that source gave us documents, and those documents we used for the story in December of last year that showed how Amazon, Spotify, and all of these other places were still being given all of this information that they said they weren't. And so we did that with all of our stories. With the app location story, we also intercepted communications, and we saw that the phones were sending out your location from your GPS, which is very, very, very accurate, to one of the Weather Channel app, right? Check your weather. Again, forced consent, right? You're checking the weather. They say we would like to use your location, and it's a weather app. And so you say, of course you need my location. It's a weather app. And they sell your location to 40 different places. 40. They sell your location each time you look at it to 40 different places. Did you consent to that? And these 40 different places collect all your information? So we were able to do that. And then Jennifer Valentino DeVries, an investigative reporter, develops a source at Google who shows that they are using that information and giving it to the police in the United States in order for your location to be used to potentially solve crimes. So when you're using your maps, you think, okay, I've given consent because I'm going to use my maps, so maybe Google knows where I am, that's okay. But then Google says, we're going to give that information to the police, and so you don't know. But the one other thing I'll mention in terms of FOIA, of course we use FOIA in the United States, it's the Freedom of Information Act. I don't know exactly how it works in the individual countries down here. It's extremely important. It's also constantly being fought by the government or by local news. But I was speaking with Tatiana. One of the biggest things that we launched at the New York Times in the last few years was our tip line. So you can go to nytimes.com/tips, and you can submit a tip by WhatsApp, by Signal, by Secure Drop, by email, by all these different ways that allow different amounts of anonymity. And we've gotten over 10,000 tips in 2 years, good tips. We get over 100 tips a day now, because people at these organizations, in the communities, they want to tell you this information. And so it's very important to establish a very open way that they can tell you this information, because they know that there are things that are going on that are inappropriate, the same way Edward Snowden knew there were things that were going on inappropriate, the same way that all the other whistleblowers, Daniel Ellsberg, way back when, knew things were going on. So you have to provide, nowadays, because there's a power imbalance, such a power imbalance, you have to make yourself available of all the tools.